We have some breaking news tonight from the world of Republicans mandating forced transvaginal ultrasounds. In the great state of Idaho, unexpectedly, that state's forced ultrasound bill is in political peril. Now, this had been steaming right ahead. It's already passed the state Senate, passed the Senate just this week, in fact, on Monday, but it was not strictly a party line vote, which is maybe why we should have seen this coming. 5 Republicans defected and voted against the bill, along with all 7 of the Democrats in the Idaho State Senate. It was during that final debate in the Senate on Monday that the Republican sponsor of the bill made himself famous when he said, quote, "Rape and incest was used as a reason to oppose this. I would hope that when a woman goes into a physician with a rape issue, that physician will indeed ask her about perhaps her marriage. Was this pregnancy caused by normal relations in a marriage, or was it truly caused by a rape?" Saying that on the floor of the Idaho State Senate understandably made that state senator nationally famous on the interwebs. He's the one on the right here on the splash page headline at the Huffington Post for much of yesterday. Today, protesters gathered in Idaho to demonstrate against the forced ultrasound bill. Here they are outside the State House in Boise. This was the second big protest against the forced ultrasound bill in the last couple of weeks. In Boise, did I mention that? Inside the State House today, anti-abortion activists were performing ultrasounds on pregnant women before a live audience under the banner Voices from the Womb. But tonight, breaking news. The Spokesman Review newspaper is reporting that the ultrasound bill is either dead or nearly dead. The Spokesman Review reporting that a committee hearing scheduled for tomorrow on the bill has been canceled. The chair of the committee telling the paper, quote, "We're still looking for some more information on the bill before we proceed. If we do." Unexpected. This move in Idaho tonight actually follows a little bit of a pattern that I had not seen coming, but seems to be happening all at once. A pattern of Republican legislators and Republican governors in the states on a whole host of different issues on which they were becoming nationally famous, backing off from those things, backing off from things they could have done because of their huge Republican electoral majorities after they faced opposition locally and attention nationally. In New Hampshire today, the New Hampshire House, in which Republicans have a 189-seat advantage. They have a 189-seat advantage in a 400-seat body. In New Hampshire today, they voted by a huge 211 to 116 margin to not repeal New Hampshire's same-sex marriage law. Same-sex marriage still legal in New Hampshire. And the 2-hour debate about repealing marriage equality saw Republicans lead both the anti-gay marriage position and the pro-gay marriage position. Talk about a wedge issue. Also in New Hampshire this week, House Republicans having already passed a bill through the state house that would force doctors under pain of prison to lie to their patients about cancer. It would force doctors to give their patients information specified by the state legislature that contains an inaccurate claim that having an abortion gives you a higher risk for breast cancer. Having already passed that directive to doctors, the legislature realized that maybe they didn't quite understand what they'd passed. Or if they did, they maybe weren't sure they meant it. So now they have gone back. They've passed this thing through the House, and they've gone back and put it through the committee process again to try to change it up after the fact, after they already passed it. Yesterday, that committee voted to take out the felony prison time for doctors part of the bill. The Concord Monitor, reporting on the move, noted a sense of Republican discord on the issue, reporting that after the vote, quote, at least 10 of the 15 committee members, many of them Republicans, said they will vote against the bill when it reaches the floor, quoting one Republican on the committee who voted with the Republican majority to send the bill back to the full House for another vote, as saying, quote, "I just as soon would see the thing killed." The Chattanooga Times Free Press is also reporting today that an anti-abortion bill pending in Tennessee is likely to undergo major changes, all apparently at the behest of the legislature's only physician, an anti-abortion Republican who nevertheless says he will not support this bill unless, among other things, his fellow legislators eliminate a provision that would require the state health department to publish online the names of doctors who perform abortions in Tennessee. What could possibly go wrong? In Arizona, the newly infamous Tell Your Boss Why You're on the Pill legislation is also reportedly being amended by the Republican who sponsored it. This is a bill that has already passed the House in the state of Arizona, but nevertheless, the Arizona Republic is reporting this week that the sponsor of the bill is pulling it off the agenda in a Senate committee so she can work on some amendments before it goes up to the full Senate. Also, in Utah this week, the Republican governor there of that essentially entirely red state, Gary Herbert, he vetoed a bill that would have essentially banned public schools from teaching about contraception in sex ed. In explaining his decision, Governor Herbert said, quote, if HB 363 were to become law, parents would no longer have the option. The overwhelming majority is currently choosing for their children. I'm unwilling to conclude that the state knows better than Utah's parents as to what is best for their children, he said. With all of this news happening all at once, I think this might officially be a trend. Republican lawmakers in the states backing down in the face of opposition locally and, in some cases, very, very unwanted attention nationally.